urge to fire a cannon.
So we guessed this was probably a tavern from the artifacts again, and we found here piles and piles of oyster shells. So in town there were those many oyster dens, oyster taverns, oyster cellars everywhere. And this might have been one of them, just underneath a very official tavern above ground. Now, there was, and there still is, another artifact, which is shards of black glass. This glass belongs to bottles of claret, the French red wine from Bordeaux, which was the most popular drink in the lowlands of Scotland at the time. It didn't reach up the Highlands, because up there, the Highlanders had their own little tipple. They called it firewater, 60% ABV. They didn't need any claret or brandy up north. So even though you see an empty room today, can you imagine those tables and benches absolutely everywhere? It's packed in here. There is very little room to move around, but much more light than next door. Tallow candles on the walls and on the tables. There is a man playing fiddle in a corner, and the smell of food and drinks and pipes and cigar is much more pleasant here than next door. It's a bustling place here. You can see all classes of society mingling together. Now, it's true that the customers are mostly men, but there were a few women. Yeah, maybe in a corner, an old hag getting rid of the oyster shells from the tables into buckets. She would sell them to builders. The builders would grind them, mix them with mortar to build stronger walls. But then, if you look around you, there are some workers from within. They're eating a fish soup and they have a pint of beer or ale on that table. And nearby, there are gamblers playing cards and dice on another table and shouting at each other. You liar! You cheater! They never agree, those people. We could identify one of them because he was the Lord President of the Court of Session. Every morning, before heading to court, he would stop in a tavern like this and he would ask for no less than 6 bottles of claret. And he would drink them all till the very last drop before heading to court. Yeah, he truly believed this would clear his mind to pass fair sentences. Hang them all! They were crazy judges here. In the 18th century, you would do business in taverns. So all those traders on top of the bridge would probably be in taverns around the bridge to find a new customer, find a new supplier. Do business. Because it is the Enlightenment era, you have poets in taverns. You have philosophers. You have historians. All those great minds exchanging fantastic brand new ideas. Well, maybe those ideas that made the world what it is today. There might even be some students and surgeons of the medical school, because they are our neighbors. The medical school is just at the end of the bridge. And if you spy on their discussions, they are probably planning the delivery of a corpse for the next day lecture. But really, how many different accents can you hear in these taverns? Of course, we are in the lowlands, so they speak Scots here. You can hear a wee bit of Scot. Oh yeah, quite clear. Even clearer, the King's English. Perfect. Many, many visitors from England are coming to Edinburgh. Actually, many visitors from all over Europe. So there might be a bit of German accent, a bit of Italian accent, and a bit of French accent as well. Some things never change. After the Highland clearances, when they've been forced off their lands, they fled all around the world. And many of them came here. They were seeking to make a new life, maybe find a job, make a bit of money. Unfortunately, they just found despair and more poverty. And they spoke Gaelic, yeah. That's not a language I can understand. But I love the Highlanders. They wear a kilt. Now, in tavern like this 200 years ago, well, you know now how tough it was to live above ground and how difficult it was to work on the ground. It's no surprise that people were drinking a lot just to cope with their daily life. So in a tavern like this, I'm pretty sure that at noon, everybody was peshed already. And that's when daggers appear. Follow me this way.